going on, everybody? My name is Josiah Darnell. I grew up here in Queens, New York. Went to high school at Campus Magnet High School, or Old Andrew Jackson, whichever one you want to call it. I ended up going to Pace University, where I was a student athlete there, played on the football team, and I also majored in digital journalism.
I'm Deshaun. I now attend Cardozo High School, and I'm here to learn from a student that went to Pace University, so I know the information I need for when I'm applying for college in the future.
Well, Deshaun, it was nice to meet you. I appreciate you for thinking of me for being your mentor, and I also want to emphasize the point of making sure your parents know as well, just because it takes a village to raise a kid. And any questions that you have, I promise to answer them to the best of my ability.
Yes, thank you. My mom's right here. She's here to ask you questions about college.
Oh, yes, Mom is here. I am here. I'm always being supportive of him. Am I supposed to come in the middle? Hi, my name is Fuchsia. I am Mom, and I am here to support Deshaun on his journey. And I am so thankful to have found this mentor to be able to help us along this journey. Being a mom of a teenage boy or any teenager is a struggle, especially now during Corona, where things are a little bit more rough. So any support that we can get and any support that he can have to continue on his journey, I will be happy with that. So I'm very thankful that you were able to come in and join us on this session.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have 3 questions to ask Josiah about my journey and how can I use my skills that I have now during the Corona age, like right now, to better me to get into college in the future. My first question that I have is, how was your experience, like your first year during college, and how can I use like the skills that I have now to get into college in the future?
Well, my first year, is obviously going to be different from anybody's first year now, specifically with the pandemic going on. But in my experience, I know that the first time I got to college, it was a different level of freedom that I've never experienced. But at the same time, the level of responsibility and accountability is heightened. Because even though, I was raised right, and it definitely does take a village. So I had a lot of people, on my back, making sure that I did what I was supposed to do every single day. But when you get to college, there aren't always those voices that's in your ear telling you to do this, do that, and you definitely got to make sure that you keep all of that up. So you're always going to have things on your plate. And being that you're trying to be a student athlete as well, there's going to be a lot on your plate. And you have to make sure that you take the time out to compartmentalize every last one of them. So all of that gets your attention. But at the same time, you're the one that has to be held accountable for everything that goes right and that goes wrong. There aren't always people that's going to be there to say, do this, do that. You got to take that upon yourself. So that's one of the things that I had to learn early when I got to college. I tried my best to make sure that I was staying on top of my books in school and also making sure that I put the time that I needed in order to make myself better on the football field. But, overall, it was an amazing experience. I enjoyed it. That's why I kept going back. I couldn't wait to get back to school. But, now I would say with the pandemic going on, things are going to be a lot different. But I do think that the principles and, everything like that still remains the same. It's a different level of freedom. The responsibility and accountability is all on you. So you got to make sure that you do everything necessary to stay on top of everything.
Thank you. My second question that I have to ask Josiah is, what major did you choose and why did you choose it?
The major that I decided to go with was digital journalism. I was really looking for sports broadcasting or anything in that type of field. But with Pace, and being that they were a school that allowed me to continue to play football, they kind of put me in a little bit of a bind. But digital journalism was the closest that I could get to sports broadcasting. And, it really turned out to be good for me. The journalism field can expand in a lot of areas. It's pretty broad, just like the broadcasting field is. So just diving into different things, finding out what other things that I can be good in the world of journalism. Because coming out, I might have to start writing for a newspaper, or I might have to do blogging on a website or things of that nature. So it allowed me to be, more open to things. Even though I know for a fact that sports broadcasting is what I wanted to get into, but sometimes that's just the end goal, and I got to make sure I take the steps necessary to get there. So digital journalism was what I went with. It was the closest to sports broadcasting, but it turned out to be something pretty good for me.
Do you recommend that one for me, or do you want me to choose like a better one that will benefit me? That will benefit me in the future.
Right. Always choose the thing that best suits you. You know, whatever you can apply your natural ability to, something that you're passionate about. You know, something that you're always going to put your all into. You're going to be dedicated to do it, determined to do it. That's something that you should pursue. So if it is journalism, go ahead. Know that there's going to be a lot of writing, a lot of typing and everything like that. If it's broadcasting, go ahead. But understand that there's going to be a lot of talking that's involved with it. If it's programming, coding, finances, you know, anything that you know you have a passion for, and put all your passion and efforts into it, that's the thing that you should chase.
Thank you. My third question that I have to ask Josiah is, how accessible was the administrators and financial aid, and like was like your resources given to you, or like did you have to work hard to get your resources? And how difficult was it?
I would say it's kind of an accumulation of both. I would say PACE definitely made sure that we had those resources available. I know it was fairly easy for me to talk to, we call it OSA, Office of Student Aid, more than it was financial aid. I feel like financial aid, no matter where you go, is just something that you just dread going to, because the financial aid office and dealing with money in these colleges is always going to be a struggle. But the office, the OSA office, they were really easy to talk to. I know that there was one older lady there. Her name was Krista. She was always on point. And she worked closely with athletes because she knew a lot of the things that we needed when it came to scholarships and loans and things of that nature. So she was always on top of everything and made sure that we were always put in the best position possible. So I think for her and making sure the football team had her available was one of the ways that we was able to use our resources. Also going in, being a student athlete, a lot of the times they put us in study hall. And that's really just to make sure you stay on top of your books and homework, and if you need help, go to them. That's what they always say. Everybody else goes to tutors, but we call it study hall. And my freshman year, they made us do 8 hours a week in study hall. So I was always on top of doing my work. And my freshman year was really when I had the highest averages I ever had in college. And a large part of it was because I went to study hall.
So no slacking.
No slacking. Because you can get off to a late start, and it is extremely hard to get yourself back on track. You know, I know a couple of people who their first year they went to college just to strictly have fun. Which I'm not saying you don't have. There's always going to be that time for it, but you also got to make sure you keep your priorities in check. And so some of them who went there, they decided to have fun first and do work later. They was paying for it in the long run. So yeah, definitely no slacking. But have fun. You enjoy yourself here and there. Other resources, I want to say the library was available. And a lot of the times they didn't close to like midnight or 11 o'clock or something like that. They had those. They had the laptops. They had the tutors for people who needed to get in there. The rooms available if you wanted to do group sessions. Textbooks. The professors always put textbooks on reserve for you, so in case you didn't want to buy it, which is another thing. Buying textbooks is no joke. we found ways. We either rent it from Chegg, Amazon, or something like that, paperback, online book, whatever it is. That way you're not paying the full price, because some be $100, $200. I think my Spanish book was like $204. So it's costly. But some professors put books on reserve for us so that way we didn't have to buy it, and we just go in, check it out, do your work, check it back in, and everything like that. So I would say that, at PACE, and I would assume every school, they always want to make sure that they put these students in the best position to be successful, because at the same time, you are a reflection of them. So if they aren't putting their students in the best position, it looks poorly on their part. So they do their best to try and at least make sure that there's things available for you.
I appreciate you for coming here and helping me and giving me information that I could use for when it's time for me to go to college. So thank you. I will use that for me.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, I do have one quick question. What was you hoping to be your goal as a mentor to this program?
What would be my goal? I think the number one goal would be to, give someone something that I wish I had. I search for a mentor a lot. my high school career is getting ready to go into college, just because it's something new. It's an experience that a lot of people that I was around me didn't go through. Getting into college is something that's serious. It's something that's rigorous. I know that even though I wasn't a first generation college student, I was the first one that was getting ready to go as a student athlete for football as well. And going through that process, you know, when you're trying to get recruited for sports, it's like you're applying twice. You can't really just go to any school you want to because you're trying to get recruited. So it kind of filters out the schools that you would want to go to, because if you try to go just for academics, you're not going to be able to play ball. And if you go to play ball, there's some things that you got to sacrifice. So I was desperately looking for somebody who'd been through it to ask them these same questions that you're asking me, you know, to get an idea of what to expect or get an idea of how to prepare myself to be able to go to that level. So being that I was looking for it and I couldn't always find it, I want someone to find that in me. I want someone to have those questions and me have those answers to those questions. And just assist them on the journey to not only get to the place that I did, but to get further, to get higher. I want you to be able to get to a place that I didn't get to. So if I can be able to help you out in that situation, then that's the ultimate goal. That's really what I want to find out of this mentorship.
Thank you for helping me start my journey from high school to college. And when I get there, I have the information you told me, and I will thrive.
Amen.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And any wisdom, knowledge, or anything that I can give you, I just hope that it propels you